oscillations per second. Heart pumps the blood to the different body organs.
Both statements are in true, it is always true.
Good. Good afternoon to all the principals, teachers, students, and all those who are watching this program. Welcome to the show English Doctor. So let's discuss about the common mistakes in the use of nouns. All of us make these mistakes in our daily lives. So let us look at some of the mistakes we commit. Now let us look out, before going to that, let us see what is a noun. Now as you know, noun is a name of a person, place, animal, or a thing. For examples, person, a girl, boy, or any name you say, or you say place, school, home, or Hyderabad, Warangal, any place for that matter, or an animal, dog, cat, frog, or any animal for that matter. So a thing, desk, bench, glass, water. So all these are nouns. Now as you know, there are different types of nouns are there. So now let us go into the use of common mistakes we commit when we use these nouns. The words like deer, sheep, hare, apparatus, species, heathen, etc. have the same form in singular and plural numbers. We use these words same in singular and plural. Only thing is the number, whether we know is plural or singular by using the preceding adjectives, by using that. And if the words indicate plurality, they are plural, and if the words indicate singularity, they are singular. For example, if you say a, when you use a sheep means it is singular. When you say two sheep, we put the words, so it is plural. For example, you say you saw a deer in the meadow, it's a deer. You say a deer. We don't say deers, you say deer. Deer are found. Similarly the case with sheep, single sheep. And if the more than one sheep, you say sheep. You don't say sheeps. For example, once again look at the example, you say 2 deer were found dead. You can also say a deer was found dead in the garden. Many sheep are grazing in the field. You don't say many sheep are grazing in the field. You should say a sheep is found in the meadow, the grassland. Meadow means the grassland. Ramu is using an apparatus. Apparatus means a gadget. They are using many apparatus. You don't say apparatuses. They are using many apparatus. Now the words like dozen, score, 100 and 1000 do not take a plural form. Look at the example. He has 3 dozens pencil. You don't say dozens pencil, but what is the correct use? He has 3 dozen pencils. The plural has to be added to the noun there, pencils, not dozens, but you say he has 3 dozen pencils. Or you can say I bought 2 dozen bananas. You don't say 2 dozens bananas or bananas. Sachin made 200s run. That is wrong. You cannot make hundreds plural. You say Sachin made 200 runs. Now let us look at another example. But when these words are not preceded by any word showing number, they take plural form. For example, you say hundreds of men were arrested. You want to say that many men were arrested. You say hundreds of men were arrested. There is no word to denote how many are there. So when you want to say that word, say hundreds of men were arrested. Thousands of boys assembled in the morning. So thousands of girls assembled in the morning. Because there is no word to denote whether to show their plural or singular. Dozens of seats were vacant. Dozens of seats are vacant. Now let us look. There are different words where we usually use these words like subjects like mathematics, means, physics, ethics, politics, news, innings, summons, optics, gallows, etc. These are words always used as singular. They though appear to be plural forms. They appear to be plural because you say suddenly we get confused. Yes is there, mathematics. So the singular could be mathematic. No, it is mathematics. It is a word by itself. There are typical words, mathematics, means, physics, as I told you. Now look at this example. These are good news for you. Can we say that? These are good news for you. Now how do we say that? This is good news for you, because news is always singular. They appear to be plural. News, S is there. So don't be confused. S is there, so it cannot be plural. Another example, summons were served upon him. The court summons, the call from the court to appear before the judge is called summons. It was served upon him. So what is the correct one? A summons was served upon him. So summons by itself is a singular, but they appear to be plural. Okay. Now let us look at another example. Some words like arms, ashes, auspicious, bowls, measles, riches, tidings, scissors, cards, scales, annals, antipodes, assets, arms, bellows, billiards, credentials, drawers, fetters, nuptials, pantaloons, promises, proceeds, spectacles, tongues. Trousers are always used in the plural number. They cannot be used in the singular number. Please take care of that. These words which we see on the screen are always used in the plural number, not in the singular number. We cannot say arm. For example, give alms to the poor. Cannot say give alms to the poor. Next, he has brought good tidings, good news. Good tidings means good news. Another example, the school premises is very, very clean, very clean. So these are the words which we always use in the plural number. There are some words like cattle, folk, gentry, mankind, people, peasantry, public, police, vermin, cavalry, majority, bulk, etc. Look like singular, but they are always used as a plural and they take plural verb. They look like singular, no? Cattle, not cattles, not gentries, not mankinds, peoples or peasantries, no. They are all used as plural and they always take plural verb as I told you. For example, the majority are satisfied. Majority itself is plural, that is used in a plural form. Cattle are grazing in the field. Not cattle is grazing in the field, because it is a collective noun. Cattle are grazing in the field. Public do not like it. Public is taken as a group. The people, the public, do not like it. So they take singular verb, do not. The police have come. The police is came. Many times you hear the people, the students around, they always say, police is come. The police have come. Take the plural verb. Now let us look at another example, another words, nouns like alphabet, expenditure, issue, furniture, information, offspring, machinery, poetry, scenery, etc. are always used as singular. There is no alphabets, and by the way, there are many common mistakes our teachers and students make. Write alphabet. Now what do you mean by alphabet? Every language has got a set of words categorized as alphabet. We cannot ask the students to write alphabet. How many alphabet there are in English? No, we should ask how many letters of the alphabet are there. Please write the letters of the alphabet. Do not ask the students to write alphabet. Alphabet is only one. Any language has got an alphabet. So we should say letters of the alphabet. So there is no singular, there is no plural for that. Expenditure. You cannot say expenditures, issues, furnitures. Very often we will find in the shops, where they sell furniture, they say furnitures are sold here. Or informations, no, information. Offsprings, no, offspring. Machinery, poetry, scenery, not sceneries or poetries, no, are always used as singular. Look at the example. All the furniture was sold. You cannot say all the furnitures were sold. The correct usage is all the furniture was sold. I gave him all the information about, not the informations, information. All the expenditure was met by my friend, not expenditures, expenditure. The machinery was purchased yesterday, not the machineries, the machinery was purchased yesterday. Now let us look at the following nouns. They are used in singular or plural according to the sense or meaning they are required to convey. So whenever when we use some words like air, atmosphere. So in the context, whether we want to use it as singular or plural. So air means it's atmosphere. When we say yes, it is affected manners. He puts lots of airs, pretensions. Another word is advice. It's a counsel. Give advice, I'll ask my teacher to advise me. So advises means is information. So it can be used in plural. So it is in what way you want it, whether you wanted to use in singular or plural. This all depend upon. So when you want to use as plural, instead of air, use airs. And if you want to use plural, use air, atmosphere. And when you want to say some moral advice, you say advise, advises. Similarly, look at the third example. Compass. It's an extent. And compasses is it's a pair. When we use for mathematics, geometry you use. So compasses is an instrument to measure the circumferences, right? So it is an instrument. The next one is good. It's a benefit. But when you put yes, when you say plural, it becomes commodities, goods. The goods are carried by the truck. Goods or good. Good means it's a benefit. Goods means commodities. Iron is a kind of metal, and when you say irons, it is a fetters made of iron. It is a fetters made of iron. So then again let us continue with the singular and plural. When you say physic, it is a medicine, physic. When you say physics, it is a natural science, it is a science, physics. Return means coming back. By the way, sometimes when some of the students use it as I'll be returning back tomorrow. No, it's called redundancy. Don't use returning back. You say either you say return or I'll come back tomorrow. Don't say I'll be returning back tomorrow. So always say I will return, either say return or I'll come back tomorrow. Don't say I'll be returning back. Not necessary to use those two words, I will return or you say I will come back tomorrow. So returns means statistics, I didn't get much returns. So return and returns can be used as singular or plural. Now another word is sand, particles of sand or sands, sands of the seashore. Sands means in the seashore, sands, it is used in the plural form. Force, it is a strength. You apply force to an object, and when we cannot say we apply forces to the, many people are standing together and pushing, you say they are applying forces. You always say they are applying force, but the moment when you say forces, it becomes army. Forces, it becomes army. So it is force means strength and forces means army, the armed forces. Content, content means satisfaction. When you say contents, it is a plural form, it will becomes things which contained. What is inside? Things which contained, you will say. So content, satisfaction, contents, things contained. So we should be very careful when we use it. Just for the sake of using plural, when you use yes, the meanings completely change. Can you see that? Let us go back to the old previous one. See, content, satisfaction, contents, things contained. What is there? Now English is with full of foreign words. As such, English is a language was borrowed heavily from other languages. Even now, every month, every day they borrow some words, as you are very aware of that. That is why the dictionaries are revised every 3 years, and you will find the words which is added to the English language. There are many words, even the word called Jai Ho, that is the millionth word for your information. The Jai Ho, the Hindi word Jai Ho was added as the millionth word into the dictionary. So as you can see, every day English is borrowing heavily from all languages. It has borrowed heavily from Indian languages, other European languages, other foreign country languages. So in English also it has borrowed heavily from Latin and Italian language. So some foreign words used commonly in English are always plural. Their singular forms are quite different. Look at that, let us look at that, singular and plural. When you say agenda, agentum, that is a plural for agenda. Next word, data. The plural of data is datum or datum. It's a Latin word, datum. It's a media, medium. Then you say alumni, singular, is an alumni of such a for an institution. Alumnus, many past people, we say alumnus of that great institution. Indices, index, content of the letter. Indices is a singular, index is the plural. Similarly, phenomena is a phenomenon. Criteria. What is the criteria of judging a singing competition or a dance competition? What is the criterion? That is a plural. Criterion is the plural form. Memoranda. Memorandum of understanding. Memoranda or memorandum. Now, let us look at some of the examples. The agenda was discussed in the meeting. This is correct usage. The agenda was discussed in the meeting. Then you say the agenda were discussed in the meeting. No, the agenda was discussed in the meeting. The data given in the book is quite relevant. The data given in the book are quite relevant. No, you should not say that. The data given in the book are quite relevant. It is wrong. The data given in the book is quite relevant is the correct usage. The memorandum were prepared by us. The memorandum is a plural, is were prepared by us. You cannot say the memorandum was prepared by us. It's a very commonly used word, memorandum was prepared by us. Some nouns that have two forms in the plural number should be carefully selected and used according to the meaning we want to convey. Just look at that. They have two forms in the plural number. It should be carefully selected and used according to the meaning we wanted to use it. For example, you see, brothers means sons of same mother. Brother, brothers. Singular is brother, brothers is plural, sons of same mother. When you say brethren, it has become members of a society. When you use it, you cannot interchange. For brothers and brethren, we cannot interchange. When you say brothers, it is sons of a mother. But when you want to use brethren, it denotes, its meanings is members of a society. Clothes means pieces of cloth. But when you say clothes, articles of dress, see the meaning changes. Next is geniuses, men having genius. Men having genius. Genie means spirits, evil spirits or good spirits, whatever. Geniuses, men having lot of genius. And genie means the spirits. Indexes, table of contents. When we say indices, means signs used in algebra. Indices, signs used in the algebra. You see, one word cannot be substituted with other word, but when we substitute, the meaning totally changes. Like brothers, brethren, clothes, clothes, geniuses, genie, indexes and indices. See the difference. Now, many people say, unmarried men will say, I am a bachelor. Can ladies say the same thing? I am a bachelor. Can a woman say, a woman who is not married can say, I am a bachelor? But very often we hear around us, we say, ladies also saying, unmarried ladies will be saying, I am a bachelor. No, unmarried woman says, I am a spinster. And very often we hear this word too, I have writing work. Excuse me, madam, excuse me, sir, please excuse me, I cannot participate in the games. The teacher asks, why? I have writing work. No, it is wrong. You should not say I have writing work. You should say I have a written work. I have writing work is wrong. You should say I have a written work. Another example you see, I am drinking milk every day. I am drinking milk every day. It is an everyday activity. So, you do not put the ing form, present continuous form. You should not put, you should say I drink milk every day. Like another example, the sun is rising in the east every day. Do we need to say that the sun is rising every day in the east? You will say habitual activity, everyday's activity. So, you say the sun rises in the east. Similarly, every day you drink milk. So, you need not say I am drinking milk every day. You should say I drink milk every day. So, remember that it is an everyday activity. So, I drink milk every day. And some students across, I always hear this increase and decrease. What is opposite of increase is decrease, decrease. Yes is the culprit there. Do not say increase and decrease, it is increase and decrease. It is increase and decrease. Let us look at another mistake committed by most of our students. So, always you say one lesson I read madam, or one lesson I read sir, two lesson I not read madam. One lesson I read madam, or I read madam, two lesson I not read madam or sir. So, what you should say, I did not read one lesson, or I did not read. In my previous episode also I have told you already. I did not read two lessons. Two lesson I not read madam. I did not read two lessons. I did not read one lesson. I did not, because you were unable to do. So, you should say not two lesson I not read madam, two lesson I did not. You should say I did not read two lessons. I am suffering with fever. Very often we hear adults and children, they always say I am suffering with fever, I am suffering from fever, I am suffering from headache. Not with fever, but from fever. Let us hear very often, why didn't you do your hair, your dishevelled hair? The student comes in unkempt hair or uncombed hair, and the teacher asks, why did you not comb your hair? The answer is, I did head bath madam, I did head bath sir. Is there a word called head bath? That means you take the head and give a bath as you give to your body. You should say, I washed my hair. So, it is cold. Another word we hear from students or sometimes adults also, they say, it is cold, I will wear shutter. It is not shutter, it is sweater, something which you put on to guard against the cold. Okay. Now, let us talk about very glaring mistakes we always make. You travel across and always we find the artist, the people who writes on the board, in our own students, sometimes our own teachers, without thinking, the apostrophe s. Now, what is the use of apostrophe s? It is used to show possessive case. You want to show that you have something or somebody have something, like man, birds, animals, showing animate objects like man, birds and animals. It shows possessiveness, apostrophe s. For example, man's arms, horse's head. You can also say the arms of man instead of using apostrophe s. You have already learned in your lower classes, or some of you will learn also still. Of represents apostrophe s. So, these two phrases are always correct. The arms, man's arms, the horse's head. We can also say instead of arms, man's arms, you can say the arms of man, horse's head, you can also say head of a horse. The apostrophe s should not be used into possessive cases of nouns showing non-living objects. You can show it in the form of living objects, but non-living objects should not be used to show possessiveness. For example, a garden's fruit,